Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm just on a hike right now, and I thought for something new, I would kind of show you guys some of the highlights on plants that I come across during the hike. Might be a bit interesting for some of you guys. So basically, highlights are anything that's in bloom right now, but we'll see. All right, first thing. Oh, got a bumblebee here pollinating the salmonberry, Rubus spectabilis. It's one of our earliest blooming plants, so really important for things like bumblebee queens that are coming out of hibernation, and hummingbirds really like them too. I think Rubus in general is a host plant for certain butterflies as well. But you can actually tell them apart from other Rubus because they grow in sets of 3 leaves, but you take off the 3rd leaf, then the other 2 look like a pair of butterfly wings. These ones are small. It's more noticeable and bigger, more just formed leaves. There you go. A little butterfly. But it's a beautiful plant. Got another early bloomer here, fairly early. They're just starting to bloom. There's red elderberry or Sambucus racemosa. The flowers are actually fragrant. They kind of smell like citrusy, but they're quite nice actually. A lot of times when you see these white clusters of flowers like this, like on false Solomon seal or other Maianthemum species, quite often they're pollinated by flies, beetles, things like that. But I do see bumblebees occasionally visit them. Sorry about the car noises, but they don't seem to be a favorite of bees in general. Seems to be more of a beetle thing. But it's a lovely plant. Quite nice growth habit and foliage, flowers, everything. Makes these red berries later in the season. And over here we actually got some mushrooms. I'm actually not an expert on mushrooms, but I find them pretty cool, so I thought I'd show you guys. I just started learning them over the winter because there wasn't really any plants to look at, so I was like, guess it's finally time to learn mushrooms. I still gotta learn mosses too. I was trying to for a bit, but it's hard to get my brain to differentiate them. You know, lots of huckleberries too in here. This is a red huckleberry here. There's also lots of false azalea around too. Here I got something kind of neat to show you. This one's actually starting to make buds already. It's pretty early. The flowers actually kind of look like a creamsicle. I'll see if I'm trying to focus on them here when they're like fully bloomed. Like I said, they'll get rounder, more urn-shaped, similar to things in the Vaccinium genus, huckleberries. There we go. And they'll kind of have an opening at the bottom. And they have the old seed pods. And you know, I've tried collecting seeds for these before, and I don't know. Seed collecting is like an art, I gotta tell you guys. You gotta learn exactly when the seeds are ready, when to grab them. And you know, with this one, I've always, I guess, been either too soon or too late. And I've never quite gotten them at the right time. Or I have, but I just don't realize it because they look like dust, basically. So I don't know. I'll keep experimenting in the future. It takes a while to like figure it out for certain plants at least. It's like it's not very intuitive a lot of the time. You have to basically like come back and check the plants repeatedly if it's like your first time doing it and learning it. Berry. Actually, usually they grow next to water, or they preferably do. But they'll grow in like pretty shady sites too. It's kind of an interesting thing. It makes it a bit difficult to give advice to people sometimes because a lot of our plants either want to be in a shady spot with like average soil, or like they can kind of like substitute shade for water. Like salmonberry is one you usually find in shady, moist areas, but it can survive in like full sun too if it's like next to like a stream or like a bog or some kind of like marshy type habitat. And a lot of plants can kind of do that, which is pretty cool. Also, it's got some berries starting to form. It's also important because it's like one of the very first berries to form each year and provide food for birds and bears and different mammals and things like that too. So salmonberry, 10 out of 10 ecological value. The ecological value scale. Anyways, I'm just like talking here. Maybe some of you guys will dig it. we'll see. So I thought we would run into this as we get closer to like the swampy area. We have oval-leaved blueberry, or Vaccinium ovalfolium. It looks very similar to red huckleberry, Vaccinium parvifolium, which is right next to it here. But you can see the stem is red on ovalfolium. It's another one of our earliest bloomers in the year, along with salmonberry right next to it here. You know, they like these moist, like boggy habitats, and they make these like tiny blueberries. And it actually tastes pretty similar to actual blueberries. Over here we got some witch's butter fungus. It's actually pretty common around here. Usually growing on dead wood. Here we got some skunk cabbage, or I like to call it swamp lantern. Gives it better PR. You know, everyone kind of hates it because it smells like skunk. But I think it actually has potential as a garden plant because it only smells if the leaves are damaged or bruised. As long as you avoid that, then like, I don't know, it's like a beautiful plant, isn't it? It kind of looks like a Athyrium or something similar, like an ornamental, like tropical plant in a way. I'm just saying, guys, give a swamp lantern a chance. I was hoping we'd find one of these guys. This is a dollar organ grape, or Berberis nervosa. You know, it's like everything this time of year. It's an early bloomer, important for pollinators. Makes berries for birds in the summer. All that good stuff. Good for like dry, shady areas. So like I said before, I'm not an expert on mushrooms, but I found these guys and they're actually pretty cute looking. And I looked under them and there's a slug. Just chilling on the underside of the mushroom. And I don't know, I thought it was kind of cute. Got some lily pads down here. Still underwater. Still probably a bit cool for them. I've seen very few bleeding hearts so far on this hike. I saw a few down below before I started like gaining elevation, but here's just like a single lone bleeding heart here. I'm gonna make a propagation tutorial on these guys soon as well, I think. But yeah, they're mainly just liked by bumblebees, hummingbirds. Very popular. But when you plant it in a garden in like an open space, they can spread quite fast. Alright, this is a cool one. We got Viola sempervirens. I think redwood violet or evergreen violet. Got quite a few along this trail here. They're a really cute little ground cover. Every once in a while you can find a place where they're like all over the place, but usually they're just kind of like very small groupings of them every once in a while. We got lots of ferns all over the place. We pretty much have all of the ferns. Not quite. There's a few species we don't have here, but got quite a few. Got lady fern right here. You can tell because it makes a diamond shape. If you go from top to bottom, it starts off small frond, small, and it gets big in the middle. It's small towards the end. This is a spiny wood fern. They look very similar, especially if you're not like super familiar with plants. But these guys make more of a triangular shape with their fronds. They start big on the bottom, get narrow at the top. And that's how you tell those apart. It took me a while for my eyes to like understand it, but once you get it, it's pretty easy. I've actually only seen one of these before, but these beetles are pretty cool. I saw one of them last year too for the first time on some Trillium actually. But damn, they're like vibrant. Really pretty actually. You know, beetles aren't as charismatic as bees and butterflies, but They're actually very important pollinators too. Same with flies and like almost anything that visits a flower, really, besides ants. But yeah, gotta learn to respect every living thing. I found this cute little tiny moth. So hard to film insects, they're so tiny. This is only my second time hiking this location, so I didn't really plan it out very well. I got here a couple hours ago, and I didn't know how long the actual trail was, but I definitely need to give myself like 4 more hours next time, because it's gonna get dark in a couple more hours, so gotta head back. But this has been actually such a nice hike today. It's been like really nice weather, and I haven't seen anyone else, which is great. I got here at like 4:30, which is like pretty late for a lot of people for hiking. But yeah, there was literally no one. I didn't see anyone the whole time. It's great. Anyways, guys, I think that's everything for now. Peace.